Welcome to Westvu. Our audio podcasts are the best way to reach you instantly to give an update about the world news and the political arena, also the geopolitics matters. You know, the world news arena is really heated up during last week due to several incidents. Since the appointment of new pope, we were getting more and more news and incidents to report and analyze for you. So as usual, we have our the Westvu editor, also our in-house geopolitics expert, Shalitha Cameron. Shalitha, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Anuradha.
Great. So let's dig into deep the major topic right now in the world. You know that the crisis between Iran and the Israel. So Shalitha, first of all, we know that Iran is a different context than most of the other countries that when we talk about, especially the West and the Middle Eastern relations. We know that Iran is a different context because Iran is not like other Arab countries. It is not an Arab country anyway. We call it Persia. So, Shalitha, let's get some start with the cultural background of Iran and what kind of country is this, and the geography and the nature of the people, also the relation between the general public and the government in advance to talk about the crisis.
So I think that Iran is something very different, as you mentioned. That it is not just any like any other Arab country. Technically, it is not an Arab country at all. And I'm clearly see that this mullah regime is not representing Iranian people. That is what we should understand first, because that this mullah regime is totally different from the Iranian culture, Iranian civilization, and Iranian people. Because Iran is something that one of the oldest civilization. It's safe to say it is the oldest civilization, the Sumerian civilization. Then it is divided into several divisions. We call them Babylonians and Persians and all that. So when we talk about them, these people are very progressive. These people are very scientific. These people are very we can say that they like to heading to future, like unlike any other country. So that is what very important part in Iran, because Iranians are very creative people, and they have biologically they are very intelligent population. They have one of the highest IQ on the planet Earth. The reason is that they have these civilizations, this education background, and everything. During the Shah era, it is probably the most progressed country in the Middle East. So some people who doesn't know about Shah, they might get even surprised about the Iran before Mullah regime, because it is like totally Western country that the ladies had all the opportunities. They can do fashions, they can learn anything, they can do any job, and it is like a European country in the Middle East, and a very upgrade. For example, that during the Shah era, he initiated a program named White Revolution. So in this White Revolution, they did lots of reformations, unlike any other country. So it is like during the Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in Turkey, he changed lots of things and westernized entire Turkey and create this modern country. Similar to Shah, he also tried to turn things around and create that old Babylonian, Sumerian, Persian greatness to Iran. I clearly remember one of his speech that the Shah, who ousted by this mullah regime, he once said that we want to create Iran like something like a country in Europe, and then surpass them and build a nation like United States in Iran. So they have these targets. They had this we know that they have this view about future, the golden view, golden era.
Not just Iran, also if correct me if I'm wrong, Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Lebanon, those countries were like kind of European countries back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That when we talk about Lebanon and Syria, these countries are like the France. They literally Lebanon is people call it Little France. So it is totally France. Some people recently protested that they need to get back to those colonial period because they back then they were flourished with the French administration. So these countries, like I have this doubt about decolonization because of countries like Lebanon and Syria, because they did they did wonderfully under French administration, and now they are totally messed up. So this is the problem. These countries were ruined because of these political and religious mix-up. So that is the major reason. Now we see a totally different Middle East, but back then these countries, that Iran, the Lebanon, Syria, and all those countries were very modern. And I believe
it is really unfair to accuse allegate the religion over this, because the religion was there since the beginning, right? Maybe 150 1500 years ago. Since there the religion was there. Nothing was strong until very recent, maybe 50 years or 70 years back, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there were bad guys in every era. That is like, it is obvious for almost all religions. But this thing is like these are different phenomena. We can call it different phenomena. Sometimes religions can get extreme in the middle of their journey. They are not extreme back then, but within 500 years, after 500 years, with some reasons, they can be extremist. So that is the problem with these things. For example, that UAE don't have any this extremist problem. I mean, it is one of the safest country for Israeli to travel. UAE, it is safe to say it is much more safer than London. So that is the thing. So
it is also a religious regime.
It is more religious than most of these Yemen and countries like that.
True.
So that is the reason. It is all about the mix-up between politics and religion.
So then let's move into the current crisis that many people they are telling this story the Iran was doing great out, and Israel attacked them out of nowhere without reason, like that. So is it reasonable to tell that way, Shalitha? Because we know that Iran wasn't quite doing good and stay calm, and that's not how things happen, right?
Exactly. The thing is that these people going to blame Israel anytime. This is not because that Iran was peaceful country. Even if Iran was Iran attacked first, still they would blame Israel for something like
October 7th attack, right?
October 7th attack. The best example, people is still blaming Israel for October 7th. It originated from Hamas, and Iran supported them. They backed them. They knew it. Hezbollah knew it, and they used these organizations. The thing is, Iran started this war long ago. They had these proxies for 2-3 decades. They support them. The best example is Hezbollah. Hezbollah organization is one of the oldest in this regime. So it created by Iran. It literally created by Iran. It is a product of Iran. So they used it to not just for Lebanon civil law, but also to counter Israel. And also they backed several proxies, they had these Iraqi proxies. Also Hamas is part of their project, and also Houthis. And we know how Houthis did in these recent days. So everything originated from Iran, so they cannot play the victim card here. So they started the war long ago, and the thing is Iran always, Mullah regime always attacking the existence of Israel. It is not about the two-state solution. So that people might think that Iran also believe in that this fair deal or something. No, the thing is they are not believing two-state solution at all. They want to wipe out Israel. That is what their agenda is. So basically the Mullah regime, the Khomeinis, they wanted to wipe out Israel. That was their main goal. So they always threat the existence of Israel. So country like that creating a nuclear weapon is something that we cannot imagine, and Israel cannot afford a nuclear holocaust. Benjamin Netanyahu and every single politician in Israel, they clearly say that they cannot afford another holocaust like during 40s. So this could be a nuclear holocaust if Iran able to create something like that. So this is why they acted, and personally I believe that these preemptive strikes are something like it's necessary to counter this type of threats. So it is perfectly reasonable, and this is nothing new. Israel did this several times. For example, they did this in 1981 against Saddam Hussein in Iraq. They attacked the Iraqis these nuclear sites, and also in 2007 they did this to Syria, because Syria also wanted to create nuclear warhead. They had these plans, they had these blueprints, they had these scientists, and also they had these enrichment plants, but Israel able to take it out. So this is nothing new, and this is actually the country like Israel. It is actually they need these preemptive strike strategies. They used it in several times, and when we look at the history, it helped the existence of Israel. So we cannot argue about this early attack, because the war is on for like decades. This is just a part of war.
Yeah. So I would like to always throw away one of my theories that I'm measuring a country because we cannot enforce or tell suggest a country to like how they play in the global arena when it's come to power. But there is one criteria that I personally believe to measure a country or regime, that is how they treat their own people. That is one of the factors that I'm considering a country, whether it's a good one or bad one. When we come to countries like Iran, especially with the current regime, they have a bad reputation of ill-treat their own citizens. So I don't believe that a country which is failed to treat their own citizen can own or hold nuclear power or something like that, something significant, because that regime is already a threat to their own citizens. So literally they are a threat to other countries as well. When it comes to Israel, maybe we have some bad impression about the country, how they deal with other neighbors in the region. But when it comes to their own citizens, how they treat their own citizens, Israel has a top good quality maintained since the beginning of the country. So I believe that is one of my own criteria to measure a country to whether it's a good one or bad one. So I believe in that way. So definitely it is reasonable to to consider whether this regime should own nuclear weapons or something powerful like that. So anyway, so let's move into the next part, Shalitha. So we saw that how they operate this mission. For example, within very short period of time, they could eliminated most of the top generals and military leaders in Iran. Not only that, it seems they have maintained a base, underground base in Iranian territories. So this is kind of never heard that within the world history. This is really different story. So I believe the Mossad involvement is also significant here. Without that, we cannot speak about this one. So what we can tell about that, Shalitha?
Yeah, actually, this mission is like several forces. Several forces. Israel used several forces to take out these targets.
Yeah.
Their number one target is that nuclear enrichment plants and other sort of sites. And the number two, the military leadership in Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So that is the second target, and also nuclear scientists. So they had these clear goals that Iran must not own any nuclear weapon. So for that they use several parts. The basic one is that Israel usually use their air force to take out these targets. We call it preemptive strikes. They did it in during the 6 days war. They used this perfectly well, and we can clearly see they used F-35, F-60s, and some modified F-15s as well. So the thing is
Is this the
not
first time that the fifth generation fighters F-35 in active military field? I don't know. I thought that way.
I mean, it used several times. For example, that if even the attacks during Israel used this F-35 in several missions, but this is actually that very challenging one. That this is the first time, I think, in my opinion, this is the first time that they used F-35 in more challenging. I mean, using the F-35 against Hezbollah organization or something like that is not that much challenging task. But
Yeah.
when it's come to Iran, they have
It's
this
suburbs,
modern
right?
warfare.
It is
Yeah,
suburbs of Israel borders, but this is a completely different story. Maybe thousands of kilometers away from the home base.
exactly. So that's what matter at the end of the day. So this is in this type of situations we can actually test these weapons, whether it is working or not, whether
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
good for warfare or not. So that is why this is very significant. So they use their Air Force as usual, but the most important part is, as you said, Mossad. So the thing is, Mossad, the best ability of Mossad is infiltrating to these societies, these nations, and bring them down from the within. So the
Yeah.
Mossad doing this exactly perfectly well. Say they did during they use Mossad and their other intelligence service in every single war in a very effective way. In this case, the thing is that Mossad is everywhere when it's come to Iran. I mean, the best, for example, that Ahmadinejad once said that they had this their own organization. They recruited some Iranian spies and all. There some high military elites to create a group to take out these Mossad basements in Iran, inside Iran. So they need to create their own group to take out Mossad in their country. But it turns out the lead of that specific group was also a Mossad agent. So that is the problem. So Iran cannot get rid from these Mossad agents because they are in everywhere. They are in politics. They are in military. They are in inside nuclear sites, and even from housekeeping to ruling, these Mossad agents are everywhere. So that is the problem. Most of these attacks targeted, they killed about like nearly 20 nuclear scientists. Almost all of them were killed by Mossad. So this means they could take them out anytime. But Israel waited patiently for the right moment. So they did it at the right time in right way with very effective speed.
Yeah. So then let's talk about especially the PM, the Benjamin Netanyahu. I believe is one of the greatest politician that we ever saw in the recent history. The reason maybe we have some positive and negative views over him because we know that we never fully admire what's happening in Gaza Strip, and it's not good. The war is never been a good thing, right? But still we have to admire how he handled the situation, because end of the day we have to deal with the circumstances. Even though we do not support wars or the violence, still we have to protect ourselves as civilized people. So Shalitha, how significant his role in this operation, because in other countries, most of other countries, the political leadership isn't that much matter when it comes to the military operations. But it's quite different in Israel, because Israel is kind of a, most of the political leaders are highly involved in the military missions and the security matters. So how we see the role of Benjamin Netanyahu here?
Yeah, I think love him or hate him, that doesn't matter. Benjamin Netanyahu is the most consistent and most calculated politician in the modern history. So there's no any argument with that. There's no any other Western leader or Asian leader close to him when it's come to calculation and consistency. When you look at his old videos, when he was a US ambassador, Israel ambassador in United States, in Washington, he just look at his speeches. I mean, that guy hasn't changed a bit. The same Benjamin Netanyahu telling the same thing in 2025. He said the same thing in 70s. So this man is very, very consistent. He had his own vision. He worked under several PMs, but his mission and vision was the same. So he had these goals, he had these targets. So he was very consistent for past several decades. And the next thing is he will be very calculated. When you look at his political career and the wars under him, development projects under him, economic strategies under him, every single thing was well calculated to the point. So the thing is that Benjamin Netanyahu is a bad guy was like it is. Most of these politicians are bad guys, right? For example, if we care about humanity, then no politician deserves any. Most of the politicians doesn't deserve any credit. For example, most of these leaders, active leaders, killed more people. 10 times more people compared to Benjamin Netanyahu. The best example is that Erdogan is not like. Erdogan killed lots of people during his war with Kurds, and also in Armenia. They did lots of stuff. And Vladimir Putin. I am not going to criticize these people. I want to show the point that these people, every single leader were killer at some point. So we can blaming Benjamin Netanyahu like worst, the monster, and he's the deadliest president, the deadliest prime minister in modern history. That was like that's not political reality. Political reality is most of these leaders are bad, but the thing is most of these leaders are. It's safe to say that most of these leaders are not they are not saints. So they did some terrible things. Sometimes they did for that for greater good. That is the thing. So
the problem is if the world is such a good place and the most of people are just supporting the humanity. If it is hypothetically a truth, we can dissolve all the militaries and everything. So it's not going to work that way. So still, even though we are trying to show a good face in the society, still the wars that we are fighting right now are the wars that our ancestors fought. There is nothing changed here, right?
Exactly. I am 100% agree with you in that case. The thing is that if world is a beautiful place like in Michael Jackson's song or Beatles song, then we all like it. There's no argument on that. But the thing is, political reality is totally different. In political reality, people like Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to do what they're trying to do is protect their nation. Yeah. So what Benjamin Netanyahu did was that he eradicated every single threat towards Israel, and he expand the buffer zone. He expand Israel economy. He expand Israel military, and he took Israel to a whole other level. So that in the leader's perspective, Benjamin Netanyahu will go down history as one of the most successful prime minister in the history of the world. So there's no doubt about that. He's a very calculated guy. The best example is that the way he assassinated Hezbollah leader. the way he surprised the Hamas leaders, way he surprised his enemies, way he deal with the Syrian struggle, Syrian issue. When Assad went down, then he exploited that opportunity. He saw the power vacuum and he filled it. So that is why I'm telling that he's very calculated person.
Yeah. So before end our episode today, I need to talk about the Gaza Strip and the people in Gaza, because it is not fair to just to glorify Israel, because even though we have a great support and the admiration on Israel, still we have to talk about the people lives in Gaza Strip, the Palestinians. Shalitha, however, still we have some issues. For example, I heard there was an incident in Malaysia as well, when Malaysia tried to rescue hundreds of Palestinians and give the refuge in their territories. It didn't work. Why these things are happening? I can understand that there should be some generational trauma within those people. So how we gonna address this, and can you give some insights about the specific group of people who is living in this small kind of land, the Gaza Strip?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's happening in Palestine right now, what's happening in the Gaza Strip, to be specific, is truly heartbreaking. I mean, it is very terrible. I mean, the war is bad, and these people are getting killed for no reason. Sometimes these civilians and the kids. I mean, when it comes to kids and women, then it is very sensitive issue, because we cannot afford this type of disaster in this modern world. So we need a political solution for these issues. That what's happening in Gaza Strip. I mean, my idea is very simple. The thing is, we need a political solution, but we need to get rid of Hamas as well and all those extreme organizations, because I personally believe these Palestinian people deserves better leadership. That is what my point. I mean, they need secular leadership. They need. I mean, sometimes people keep telling that PLO was some kind of a secular good guys, and these Hamas created by some kind of different entity, and they take out PLO. But that's wrong. PLO is just as bad as these Hamas people. So what we need is some kind of a diplomatic, some kind of a strategically very intelligent people in Palestine to lead these people to some kind of political solution. So that is the only thing. Yeah.
Shall I say this way? Especially whatever the area, Gaza Strip or the West Bank, those people who is sitting in the leadership, they are still fooling the people. They are creating a generational trauma within the Palestinians for decades, for generations. So they are not trying to dissolve the situation. They are not trying to de-escalate the situation. They are trying to fuel up the situation, and they are creating more and more conflict. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you tell the exactly correct thing. I mean, you literally describe this leadership. I mean, these people are not very smart. The Hamas leadership. Yeah. I mean, if they are very smart, then they would never do such thing like in October 7th. I mean, it is like most stupidest and most miscalculated political disaster in this modern time. So these people are not very smart. I mean, Palestinians need some kind, as you said, Palestinians need some different leadership to lead them for betterment. I mean, these things cannot happen anymore. I mean, these people are like they use kids for their gains. They use the kids for their military missions. And I mean, what is that? And the global community doesn't understand this as well. I mean, people should seek a political solution without Hamas. And I think we need a new mission to liberate these Gazans from this Hamas grip and bring them to different type of leadership and political solution. So that is the only way. Some people say from river to the sea, Palestinian will be free. That is not going to happen. I mean, Israel is not going to go anywhere. They when they say from river to the sea, that means Jordanian river to Mediterranean Sea. So that's not going to happen at all. So we believe, as I mean, personally, two of us believe two-state solution. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
so we said that Jewish people deserve Jewish state of Israel, and Palestinian people also deserves state. I mean, both of these people have right to stay in these places.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this violence, this terrorism, these kidnaps, this hostage crisis is not going to help them to bring some kind of a better solution.
Yeah, it is not diplomatic. It is not like those attempts going nowhere. That is the
Yeah,
problem. So if they
yeah,
are trying something, it should gain something for the people, for their betterment. If it is
better.
not, so better we abandon that thing and try to find a civilized way to resolve the situation. The reason, maybe there can be reasons and the facts, but as long as not their attempts are not intact, if they are not going anywhere, so we have to abandon those facts and matters and try something practical way to gain a solution for this one. And last but not least, I need to talk about the leftist who is stuck in Egypt, who is trying to storm the Gaza Strip by saying they are doing a humanitarian march or something. So what is the update about that? I believe Egypt is not going to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they now these Western leftists teaching Arabs to about humanity. I mean, that is a total joke that they try to teach them about the war in Gaza. I mean, these Egyptians know this for decades. And now these people, I mean, this is a good thing, because that these people thought that the police and the other people, the public will do exact thing in the, just like in Western countries, just ignore them. But in here, I saw that some police officers came out and removed these people by force. So I mean, probably these people, these leftists, saw the real world experience about this situation, and I think I mean these people are not helping at all. These
Yeah.
people, what these people doing is that they need to put lots of Instagram posts. So that is their main reason. I personally know these type of activists. Their major target is not helping Palestinians.
Yeah.
Instead, they want to gain some kind of attention out of this. I mean, why these people are not marching to Sudan, and why these people are not marching to Yemen?
Yeah.
That is my main point, is that they know their media spotlight is in Palestine, so they use it, they exploit it for their betterment. I mean, that is not a very smart thing, and these people are usually not smart. I mean, Donald Trump said these are low IQ people. I mean, sometimes I have to agree with his idea.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
most of the the left are coming from, they are backed with most of like reputed education institutes like the world famous universities, and that is the community that we are
Yeah.
talking about. Still, they are doing stupid thing, and yeah, I have to also agree with that, because that's what we saw in practical life. So, Shalitha, thanks for joining today. So, we will talk to you in a different podcast very soon. Do not forget to visit westvu.com, and do not forget to like our Facebook page. Also, follow our Twitter page, which is the most active one these days. So, we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to Westvu.